Alright, I think audio should be good. Alright, audio does seem to be working. Alright, y'all, so we have a severe weather outbreak, as y'all have probably seen. What we have going on here. Alright, I think audio should be good. Alright, audio's working now. Okay, good. It's going through the stream. So basically, this is over West Tennessee. We're having some more severe thunderstorm warnings down here in Shreveport, but I really want to cover the Tennessee stuff just because that's where we are. So what's going on here? We have some rotation right here. Tornado warning. It's radar indicated. It's not confirmed on the ground yet. If we're looking at this, we'll probably go full screen so that we can see correlation coefficient, and we can also see everything else. It does look like there's a little blip right here, but I don't think this is any debris at all. Yeah, those are just radar scans, so we'd know if it's going to be, there would be a lot of black and blues. So basically, there's a tornado warning for, let's see what counties, I don't even know. It's my first time ever doing this. Dyersburg, Ripley, Newborn, Chestnut, Unionville, Friendship Gate, Trumbull, Yorkville, Edith, Folks, Lapata, Bonaccord, Central, Lucas Grove, Jenkinsville, and Maxey. So got a radar indicated tornado. There's just some pretty good rotation there in this storm, so everybody is near Dyersburg, New Bern, and Yorkville. They need to start getting in place for shelter. Our other tornado warning is down here, but I'm not really seeing any rotation on this cell. Not really seeing any rotation at all, actually. I have a tornado warning on here, but yeah, radar indicated tornado. I'm not seeing any rotation on the storm. There's not a clearly defined signature of any rotation. So this storm, still, we gotta be prepared. So Jeanette, Crawfordsville, Clarkdale, Jericho, Millington, these people have to be getting ready, and start watching out, because there could be a tornado that drops out of this thing shortly. I think where the rotation is right here. Let's go back on some radar scans. Oh wait, I think that was it. Yeah, rotation started popping up right there. Alright, on this storm, still, people near Crawfordsville, Jericho, Creekdale, you gotta be Clarkdale. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired, man. This has been a crazy work day. Literally, I'm so tired while I'm doing this, if that's why I sound absolutely dead. I'm trying my best to have energy to do this. Crazy long shift at work. But the next tornado warning we have here is south of Memphis. It's near Haines, Mariana, and Aubrey and Morrow. This is gonna be in, let's see, Arkansas, but it's gonna be crossing to the Mississippi-Tennessee border. Let's see where we got our radar, if there's anything closer that would allow us to see this. There's not a lot of rotation on these storms. They probably got to be embedded. That would actually make these tornado warnings go out. But it doesn't look like anything is intensifying crazy quickly. It looks like, yeah, this is where the rotation was, because the different colors indicating different wind directions in the atmosphere. So let's see here. People at this area near Aubrey, Morrow, and Mariana, they need to be watching out, because this is, yeah, there's some slight rotation. You can see it's starting to hook. That means there's a mesocyclone in this storm. So yeah, we got to be watching out for that. There's no other tornado warnings across the country right now, so it's mostly just this is the only storm that I'm actually concerned about, that I think there even could be a risk so far of putting down a tornado, is this storm near Dyersburg. There's still a little bit of rotation kind of along this storm right here. Yeah, it's mostly going to be, yeah, exactly right here. But we're looking at just the contrast of colors. And so everybody near Dyersburg, you got to be careful, because we're watching out for, a tornado if there is going to be one that touches down. So that's not really too much of it. That's not really a debris ball. That's just different. It's probably hail, actually. Yeah, that actually is hail, because there's a hail core right there. So this is the only storm that I'm kind of worried about that could put down a tornado, because a storm right here, the only sign of rotation is right here, and this is like barely anything. Like, it's super, super weak. Also, I don't know what that is. I think, oh, that's from my other, I don't even know what that is, but it's whatever. Let's see here. This other storm that we are looking at, again, near Aubrey, Morrow, Mariana, and Haynes. This storm is not really producing. Oh, we got a little black there. That means we're having a strong hail core. This is still radar indicated for Lee County, eastern Arkansas, southwest, northwest Mississippi. Yeah, so it's just radar indicated. There's not much of a, rotation signature with this. I bet that, what they're looking at will have to be more apparent than if it's actually going to do anything. But again, this Dyersburg storm is still starting to strengthen right here. You see, we have a whole entire, let's see, little hook that's starting to form. That means we have a mesocyclone. Look at this hail core. And we're not too far out from the radar, to show hail. So, because, the farther away you go out, the higher in the atmosphere, because of the Earth's curvature, you see into the storms. But that's a solid hail core, and that's what we're seeing on correlation coefficient, which basically shows anything that's not rain. That, it scans it in the storm and in the atmosphere. So there's a good amount of rotation here. So Dyersburg is almost out of the way, so New Bern, it's heading in that direction just to go northeast. Let's see. Yeah, this is strengthening up quite strong. It's getting a little bit more concise. If you look at the reflectivity, the storm is rotating. You can literally see it right here on reflectivity, just rotating and trying to cycle. You can see the relative velocity just shows different wind directions. It's a lot more general, but it does show, wind directions that there is, rotation exactly right here. And when we see that contrasting, it's starting to get a lot stronger, even though it's a little bit more broad of a rotation right now. Where we're getting a let's see. You said post the link. All right. All right. I just posted the stream link. All right. Oh, that's a cool little feature. Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. These are rotation signatures. It's not even really that strong. All right, yeah, this is getting a lot stronger right here. So this is the only storm we actually have to be worried about right now, at least. Only 3 tornado warnings in Tennessee. All right. Making sure everybody got that stream link. See, I'll send that to Aiden. All right. Let's just go back to analyzing this. All right, so this hail core is getting a little bit, weaker. Let's look at our past scans to see what this storm is really doing. So right now that the storm is really just looking like it's trying to recycle, trying to produce some rotation, because recycling, all that means is that it's just going back and rotating in the mesocyclone to basically try to put down a tornado, in very simple terms, because I don't feel like explaining it. Today's been a crazy work day. Oh my gosh. All right. So it looks like they've added a new severe thunderstorm warning over here. And I'm actually surprised. And what I was thinking was, because what basically is happening right now is that I want to turn off these storm reports. Just get in the way. But basically, all in all, settings. No, I do not want to see that. Okay, well, I guess I'm going to have to, let's see, MPing. I don't want to see that. Perfect. All right, so basically what, has been happening is that there's a positively tilted trough from the huge storm that hit California and those areas, and basically it just pushed this with the jet stream. It pushed this low pressure system that created a positively tilting trough, which is why the storm is angled this way. Usually negatively tilted troughs, they have the storms going this way because that's the way of the trough. Basically all that means is that we still have severe weather, and that's just why all this is going on. And I also think the Storm Prediction Center should have put the outlooks more towards Tennessee, because literally the only storms that are firing right now are at Tennessee, and I was predicting that from the start. And so, yeah, basically what's going on here, we have, let's see, we have near Dyersburg, Tennessee, you're still not out of the clear, at least the outskirts and parts of that. New Bern, you're going to have to be watching out. Yorkville, Trimble, even Kenton and Rutherford. I think this thing is going to put down a tornado if it continues to recycle the way it is, if it continues to really create this supercell-like structure. If this storm can just hit, I'm not wanting it to, but like if it does, we have a tornado warning this far north? Wait a second, they did not predict that. That is crazy. They were not in the forecast showing tornado warnings this north. Okay, y'all, we have a new situation with this. We're going to go to this storm real quick. So basically, oh my gosh, look at this rotation. This is so finite. This rotation is actually super, super condensed. This is actually something we got to look at. You can see the storm is creating hook shape. Whenever it does that, you're starting to have rotation. This is near Nortonville, Kentucky, White Plains, Kentucky. This is literally almost on the, it's a little bit north, but it's basically on the Tennessee, Kentucky border. The town of Nortonville, This thing does not have any debris signatures yet. Yeah, it's radar indicated. They're just doing that because of the rotation right here. Let's look at the past radar loops of this. Okay, so this thing was really just kind of forming, and this thing has just popped out of nowhere. All right, so yeah, Nortonville, y'all are almost going to be out of the clear of this thing. White Plains is next. Y'all got to be careful. Greenville, Powderly, and Drakesboro, you're going to have to watch out for that. Basically, that, you know, they just issued this tornado warning. This is a fresh potential tornado that we might have that will be on the ground. We do have it's a very broad rotation signature. It's not really close. It's not really tight knit, which, you know, shows that the mesocyclone is not having, you know, the vorticity it needs to be able, you know, to produce a tornado. But we are seeing this rotation signature. So town of Nortonville, White Plains, Kentucky, Greenville, Powderly, and even Drakesboro, get ready. If this thing is going to spawn a tornado, y'all got to be ready, because it is already having a broad rotation signature. And you can see this thing is already starting to hook up. And something why this storm is actually probably going to produce faster than the others. This thing is, you know, on the leading edge of this warm front, and it's going to just be eating away at the warm air that is coming in from the Gulf, and it's just taking all this instability up, you know, into these storms, into the atmosphere, so that it's feeding off of these. You know, we might see a lot more northern storms fire. You know, they just put out, SPC just put out a new mesoscale discussion. Yeah, line-embedded supercells are observed with activity ahead of the main line, also exhibiting rotation. Low-level jet with an axis currently from central LA to middle Tennessee, southern Kentucky is prog to continue strengthening through the evening, with low-level shear becoming more favorable. Okay, y'all, literally, they predicted to things, you know, for tornadoes and severe weather to be more prominent in the south. My predictions we're concluding, in my forecast, we're concluding that we are going to have these supercells, because the HRRR model, the forecast model, was showing that, you know, these storms are going to be firing up here. Let's see here. We're going to go back over near Memphis, kind of north of it. Let's see here. We actually have some really strong rotation signatures here from Allison House, which is basically, they kind of provide all the warnings and radar data. All right, let's see here. So the tornado warning that, finally it loaded. Okay, thank God. Let's see, let's close Discord. I want CPU storage or CPU usage a lot to be really high on this, because we're not gonna need a lot of other tools. Sorry, I got off track. All right, let's see. So it seems that we're having some rotation in this southerly cell right here. And then, and then this northern cell. We are still having very broad rotation. It's not that strong. The storm, I don't know if this thing is going to produce a tornado, just because we're not getting the vorticity and the wind shear to create the classic supercell and, you know, a supercell type storm. This is going to probably really just fizzle out, in my opinion. It could produce. It just depends. Oh, never mind. Up until there, we were not seeing crazy strong rotation signatures. Like, it's pretty broad right here. And then this thing just wrapped up. On this next scan, you can see a little hook echo. Okay, well, this thing has fully recycled, y'all, and now we have a possible tornado on our hands. This is a classic tornado signature, a tornadic signature on velocity. Town of Yorkville, Tennessee, y'all get ready. This thing is actually probably going to produce a tornado very, very soon. New Bern, you're pretty much, this thing is just going to go north of y'all. Okay. This thing is still trying to recycle and trying to create a strong vorticity signature, and it got a little bit more broadened there, but still, we need to be looking out for that near Yorkville. Let's go down to these southern storms. We're having rotation finally build up on this one. It's not a good thing. Don't want to make it sound like that, but just these past couple of radar scans have not been showing anything. It's only a very weak rotation signature right there. Oh, yep. Okay, the Allison House just updated that. Yeah, so what we have here, rotation signature. throughout this. This is a crazy well-defined hook echo on this, and this is a part of the leading edge of storms. We gotta be watching this. Look at this hook echo right here. This is definitely a spot of rotation that we are going to have to watch. Let's see here. I might switch over to Radar Omega because they have a couple, more classifications and more specific things on the map. So let's pull that up real quick, and I think I'm going to do that for street names and like all that kind of stuff. All right. Tornado warning, severe thunderstorm, tornado. Yeah, look at this hook right here. It is just absolutely, like right here, this massive hook right here is just showing that there's crazy vorticity in this thing. All right, so the town near Shake Rag, Dixonville, Quito, Wilkinsville, y'all all kind of got to be watching this because this thing is developing some like hefty rotation here. This is something. It's more broad, it's more generalized, but this thing is definitely starting to cycle, which means it's just starting to rotate. All right, our very southerly storm, the tornado warning has gone away for that. They just put a severe thunderstorm warning in place for that. But this Covington, the storm near, Drummond's, it's going to be going up all the way to Covington. This storm right here, y'all got to watch this. It could be potentially producing a tornado in the future. All these storms, they're not really producing anything, which is, really, really good. All right, let's see here. Let's go up near Dyersburg. This storm, let's look at velocity. We're not seeing, we're seeing a couplet that's kind of strong right there. Keep switching between these because sometimes they get scans faster than the others do. Yeah, New Yorkville, y'all got to be taking cover. This thing keeps trying to produce, but it's just failing the occlusion process, which just means it's failing to completely, put down a tornado. It's pretty straightforward. Let's see here. Yeah, so near Dyersburg, South Dyersburg. I'm probably going to use Radar Omega from this point on. I'll keep radar scope up for the correlation coefficient because that will be useful. We'll probably just have it completely on correlation coefficient because it's a far superior application for that. But we are going to be looking on Radar Omega. All right, I'm going to change the warning symbols. Let's see, tornado warning. Let's go pink. Yeah. All right. We still got this tornado warning up near Greenville, Kentucky. We're looking at this right here. Let's see, the town near, Sandy, Midland. Y'all got to be watching out for this thing. Kind of more the rotation is more specifically right here. It is kind of weakening. It used to be a lot stronger here, but it's kind of going east here, and it's just not really hitting the ingredients. Thank God that it needs to produce anything. All right. Going back here, let's see. Where's our radar site? Kind of here near Millington, they extended this tornado warning. They just put this out near Corona, Dean's Island, Black Cat, Pekin Point. This is still, let's see, I can't even tell by all the lines. This is crossing into the Tennessee border right now. I'm going to turn the outlooks off. Also, I really apologize to y'all if this isn't the best content ever. I'm really just trying to get my feet in the water with doing this. Just because this is so local and I'm just trying to watch the weather. and it's just my hobby. So Millington near Corona, that's a crazy town name. Dean's Island, there's a very minute rotation. Like, that is not strong. It's not too concerning, but y'all be prepared that if it does produce a tornado, just be watching out for that. Up here near Dyersburg, this is, you know, it's still kind of concerning. This area of rotation right here. Looks like we're having a little bit right there as well. It's still really broad in general. It's not really you know, cycling up or anything. But let's go back to this. We got 3 tornado warnings. Gibson, Tennessee. They're all in Tennessee. We always get the tornado warnings and all the severe weather, man. Who could have thunk? There's really not anything going on this other part of the squall line. Like, they were really talking about it, that it might just blow up along this boundary, but it looks like, thank God, that there's just not a huge, this warm front is not producing, you know, a lot of the energy needed that they expected, which thank God it's not, to strengthen and, you know, produce tornadoes in these storms. And a lot of the shear levels too, the wind shear in the atmosphere, it's not really there. So it's a really good sign. I'll just keep going back and looking at these tornado warnings here. Let's see. Okay, so this storm is heading near Memphis. We're not really seeing any not debris. Oh my gosh, any vorticity signatures. There's just going to be some high wind risks with this. Let's see here. This is a completely new tool, y'all. Sorry about this. I'm still trying to find all the different tools, because this is my very, you know, brand new radar application that I had just bought. So I really, really like it. But okay, so we're going down here, Corona, Dean's Island, Tennessee. We're looking at this. It's still not a crazy strong rotation signature. It's actually weakening. So these towns, don't be completely off guard. You know, don't let your guard down, but I definitely wouldn't be too worried. Back up here near Dyersburg, got still radar indicated tornado. Not really anything too crazy. It's all of this is very broad rotation, mainly because this is, you know, in a squall line. It's not individual supercells that are going in front, you know, of all these storms that are just eating up all the cape and wind shear. So they're, you know, these storms are not maturing because it's just one large storm system, and that's really good that it's not, because if we did have a lot of storms out here to the east, they would just grow exponentially, because there's like 2,000 cape in the atmosphere, which is pretty significant. So enough with the babbling. Let's see. This storm near Dyersburg. This is the only one that we really got to be kind of worried about. Okay, they did discontinue the tornado warnings down in these southerly storms. These signatures are kind of worrisome just because of how strong and unstable, you know, these winds are. I would just keep your head up. Yeah, near Dyersburg, South Dyersburg, and then up to Newborn, Rock Springs, Churchton, Templeton, Locust Grove, Cool Springs, Tennessee. So yeah, I would really, really keep your eyes out just on, you know, the warnings. Oh, okay, they just discontinued that warning. So that's what I was probably. I mean, it wasn't crazy rotation. So the only tornado warning that we have right now is up near, let's see here, White Plains, Kentucky, Mount Carmel, Bakersport, Kentucky, McNary, Depoy, Luzerne, I don't know how to say these names, Graham, New Cypress. I know New Cypress. But the rotation signature is just kind of right here. It's not crazy concerning. Again, all these signatures are pretty broad, so I would not be too worried, but there's a little signature right there, and then right here in Graham. So New Cypress, Nebo, Powderly, y'all got to be watching if we do have you know, a strengthening possible tornado potential on our hands. So going over here, let's see. Oh, it's just kind of a radar glitch. Seeing if there's any other points where we will have any rotation that's kind of building up. I don't really see anything too much of interest in this line of storms. Flash flood. Kind of the biggest risk, I think, is going to be, as this storm progresses, possibly going eastward, it might hit, you know, the low-level jet stream, which just, you know, basically brings a lot of wind shear with it, which is going to create a lot of vorticity. I'm betting we'll probably see it in this top area of the storm, the top half of the storm, because the southern half, you know, is just not really producing the wind shear, and the warm front, especially in the middle line of the storm, is just non-existent, which is good. But probably the biggest risk is going to be up here, at least what we're seeing so far in the Tennessee Valley region. So it's kind of quieting down, thank God. There's not really anything still going on. And I'm not going to assume, but I'm going to say this with good confidence that they're probably going to discontinue this tornado warning up in Kentucky, near Depoy, near New Cypress and Nebo and Moorhead, Kentucky. This storm, it's kind of just weakening the rotation. It did have a lot more back here. It was actually looking like it was going to produce, and you see this reflectivity, man, just absolute. This thing had a mesocyclone, and then it just kind of, you know, had these cell mergers, is what they call it. You know, all this inflow and outflow in the storm, and it just kind of destabilized everything, which is good. So just kind of looking here. I'm gonna pull up some outlooks, at least what we can look at. I'm gonna pull up the HRRR model, which is basically a forecasting tool. It's really useful. Let's see here. 23Z is finished. Okay. My guess, honestly, I really think that this set of storms is just hitting the perfect, you know, the perfect amount of the cold front just to not fire anything off, which is really, really, really good. We're just not having enough wind shear and, you know, instability and, you know, everything in the warm front to really fire off these storms. So, and we're kind of seeing that in the HRRR model. Everything is just going to try to, you know, kind of weaken once it just continues to move east, because it's just going to absolutely get decimated by this cold front and then just break away, which is good. So the only thing that we're looking at right now, the potential for all this kind of goes up into the overnight hours. We're going to be affected around 11 p.m. A lot of the severe weather is probably going to happen from around 8 to 11, and then it's going to break apart, basically. There's not going to be crazy amounts of all the ingredients that we would need for severe weather, which is awesome. I'm really glad, because these things destroy people's lives, and I don't want to see any of that. So let's see here. Yeah, they discontinued that tornado warning up top in Kentucky. They didn't continue that at all, which is good. Means that this storm is just kind of dying, which I am so grateful to see, because they were like, you know, huge severe weather potential. And if you look at all these storms, these were supposed to be, you know, kind of on the leading edge of the warm front. And they were saying these storms right here were going to fire off and be possible discrete supercells, but they're really not. And they're just kind of dying, Because I think, yeah, like I've just been saying, this cold front is not really that intense. Um, and I will say this, since this is a early February, or not early February, but basically mid-February event, we are seeing, um, you know, a lot of cold weather that is just kind of disrupting these storms. So I might get off for this stream. Right now there's not really a ton going on that we need to talk about. There's not a lot of rotation signatures in these storms. And this radar is just scanning right here. So we would see it if there is anything. But there's not really much going on in this storm, thank God. So the only thing I'm looking at is that we are seeing a little bit of possibly a mezzo on this storm. This was the tornado warned storm earlier, but it's looking like, let's see, seeing what is on correlation coefficient. Let's see, let's change it to velocity. Yeah, see what radar scope is saying. Yeah, there's possibly could be a little bit of a mesocyclone still trying to develop on this storm. And yeah, I don't actually see these storms going crazy, at least right now, because there's just not a lot going on. With the upper atmospheres, and it's really, really destabilizing itself within the storm, which is good. You always want that, so. I'm tired. That's for sure. Alright. Cells are kind of firing up over here in eastern Mississippi. And this was the risk area originally. We just had some early storms firing up here, which we did not really expect. Tornado threat continues within. Threat will continue downstream in portion of Middle Tennessee and Western Kentucky. Maintenance of individual says the line will be difficult. However, deep layer shear continues to support the line. Embedded mesocyclones in support. Potential for damaging wind and tornadoes. The threat is spreading eastward and will likely necessitate downstream, which watch into some. Okay. So I might end the stream just for now, or I'll just keep a. I'll go to the world or the overview of all these cells, so we can just kind of get an idea of what's going on. This is just kind of like composite reflectivity. It's just showing how these storms are kind of developing. I will say, yeah, there's like not really anything going on down here in Mississippi too much. It might just take the time for the storms to hit the low level jet, but I'm just not really seeing it. At least right now. Not really seeing anything that is gonna be crazy. Anything crazy with the rotation. So there's not much to cover, which is always a huge blessing. These storms lost their severe thunderstorm warnings, and the only storms that we're kind of looking at, this one has a special weather statement. Yeah, how these flash flood warnings just overlap it. Only threat we really have is down here in Memphis with these straight line winds. And like I said on my channel, that this would be kind of, you know, the only threat that we'll really have, with a potential for tornadoes embedded in this squall line. But that's really the only thing we got going on. Just a bit of straight line winds, and they're not even that crazy too, which is good, very good. All these storms down here are just dying. They're not really growing. See, these things were becoming, they were a lot stronger down here. They're just starting to weaken. Yeah, like all these right here. They're strong and stronger, you know, just because all these different hooks and everything, and just seeing some shear. But the only problem I see with this is that Monroe, Louisiana's radar is down. At least it was. Yeah. Let's go to radar scope, see if. Yeah, no, Monroe, Louisiana's radar is down. So we're gonna have a little bit of a radar hole down there. These storms are coming together. We have, that's interesting. I have no idea why they have not put a severe thunderstorm warning on this cell right here. This is actually growing. Because this was, you know, tornado wind at one point, and now it's kind of recycling. Okay, they just did put it on it. I was like, yo, they probably should. It's still up there, but yeah. We got to be careful that these storms do not produce. Alright, well, we're seeing something here. QLCS kind of type stuff. All right. Yeah, sorry it's kind of silent. I just don't really have anything to go over or talk about right now. I need to put a special weather statement out for that. Huh. Those are kind of growing. A good amount. But see, when these storms were over here, they were developing like supercell structures like crazy. You know, and now they've just moved up here and they've really, really broadened out. Let's see.
Event. Tornado Watch Alert. The National Weather Service has issued Tornado Watch 9 in effect until 1 MCST Sunday for the following areas in Tennessee. This watch includes 25 counties in Middle Tennessee: Cheatham, Clay, Davidson, Dixon, Giles, Hickman, Houston, Humphreys, Jackson, Lawrence, Lewis, Macon, Marshall, Murray, Montgomery, Perry, Robertson, Rutherford, Smith,
Alright, yeah, we have Tornado Watch.
Wayne, Williamson, Wilson. This includes the cities of Ashland City, Brentwood, Carthage, Salina, Centerville, Clarksville, Clifton, Collinwood, Columbia, Dixon, Dover, Erin, Franklin, Gainsborough, Gallatin, Goodlettsville, Gordonsville, Hartsville, Hendersonville, Hohenwald, Kingston Springs, Laverne.
Oh, okay, we do have a new tornado
Lawrenceburg, Lebanon, Lewisburg,
warning
Linden,
over
Mobile,
here. We're in a radar hole because
Mount Juliet,
Monroe,
Murfreesboro,
Louisiana's
Nashville,
tornado.
New
Oh,
Johnsonville,
okay.
Pegram, Pulaski, Smyrna, South Carthage,
New tornado warning just issued.
Waverly and Waynesboro.
Okay.
Target area, Cheatham, TN, Clay, Tennessee, Davidson, T.
Alright, yeah, we hear you. Alright, I'm just checking all this different stuff. I know it's probably me just watching, but if anybody else is watching, hello. But, alright. The situation could get, so basically, this whole area we are going to have to watch out for here, just because it's mostly going to be the central part of it. That's my mini outlook that I'm putting out. I bet the storms are going to have enough instability to kind of fire around here, but then once we get here, there's not going to be as much instability in the atmosphere. But we do have a tornado warning. It's just radar indicated. It's not crazy velocity. It's not anything we have to be majorly concerned about, but it is still a tornado warning, so we got to take it seriously. You see this Boeing effect. It is confirmation of a mesoscale signature. So there's oh, why am I blanking? I'm so tired. This workday has been so draining. I don't even remember, but yeah, tornado warning here, going this way. Watch out. That's all I can basically say at this point. I'm just so tired. Let's see, but I'm just kind of watching this. It's not a huge risk. It's not really a insane risk that we have to be crazy, crazy worried about. But there is a rotation signature, but it's not anything insane. It's not anything that's concerning me. Unless it just absolutely, just hits this wall of instability and cape and shear and whatnot and creates this tornado. But new scan in. Let's have this bowing effect right here. Does have that, but signature's not insanely. Look at this new scan. It's not insanely concerning. Yeah, it's just it's pretty broad rotation. It's nothing. Tornado and quarter-sized hail. Yeah. I just want to look at these storms as a whole. Are they kind of just weakening as they're going east? Yeah, they're... the sheer... It's kind of this northern area that we're looking at that actually has the more intense, you know, parts of supercells. Also, is there a camera right here? Alright, well, we're looking here at this camera. You can see the storm off in the distance. There's low level hanging clouds. But I bet this thing is not gonna go crazy. I don't see it with... Now I see this. I don't know if that's just a radar glitch. No, we're seeing some rotation on this. Oh, it's just the back end of it. Okay. Alright, right there it shows a little bit more of a rotation signature. But not really worried too much more about tornado potential. I just think it might be some strong winds. Semi-strong winds is what we'll get. Yeah, we're not really having anything. It's just this thing is weakening too. Like, if you see it here, yeah, I had a lot more of a rotation signature there. And now it's just becoming basically kind of almost a straight line to one event. Yeah, we got that part of the cell right there, but not anything too concerning. So, that's kind of what's going on right now. I want to look here at this camera. If thing sees anything, it'll probably see something. You can just see the huge clouds over there. But I'm not too worried about it. It's probably not going to. Like, you can't even see anything out of that. That's horrible. And they're definitely going to drop this morning. All these cells, thank God, they're just losing all their continuity. They're just losing like a bunch of the wind shear, you know, probabilities and vorticity probabilities. There could be something. Yeah. We're just seeing it destabilize itself right there. So we go down here. These storms are firing down here. They look kind of strong. I thank God that this is going the way it's going, because they were expecting some more tornadoes and just everything to spawn, this is really good that it's not really doing much of that. Yeah, we got 58 to 20s, you know, those mile-per-hour wind speeds, but that's just radar indicated. Not really seeing anything that's catching my eye. This is cool if anyone's watching. I get to look at the whole entire thing in 3D. Get to take the storm and look at it in 3D. It's pretty cool. If anyone's watching, not really sure if they are, but I'm just dead silent because there's nothing to really talk about. Even though there's a tornado warning up here, it's not showing anything that would indicate that there's crazy rotation. Still radar indicated. The storm is just weakening, which is really good. We do have that couplet right there, but nothing too crazy. See if we can see anything from there. No. There's not much there. Thank God there's really nothing going on at all. This whole entire storm system has absolutely been deleted by this cold front, which is awesome. There's like zero chance for these storms to really produce anything. They've just died. It's a tornado watch, but I'm guessing we're not going to get much of anything. Like even on radar scope, this is not really showing us too much. Well, alright. Storm right here. Kind of tightening up. But not really. It's just getting a lot broader of a rotation. It is trying to cycle, but it just doesn't have the wind shear to do it. Thank God this is a positively tilted trough that's causing all this, and not negatively tilted trough, because that would completely bring a lot more severe weather, and we'll probably see it this season because we have the La Nina season. But yeah, there's not much going on. So might just keep up. I'm gonna take the flash flood warnings off because they kind of taken up a lot. Turn those both off so that we can just see what's going on with these storms. I'll probably leave my stream on. Kind of go get something to drink because there's not, like I said, I'm a broken record tonight, but so I'm just absolutely exhausted. But there's really nothing going on severe thunderstorm wise. Like, yeah, we're having some severe thunderstorm warnings, but nothing too crazy. But thank God for that. That's a tiny rotation signature. And this just goes to show again how, you know, Tennessee always surprises everybody. Why? We just have so many tornadoes in Dixie Alley. It's crazy. Yeah, they're keeping a severe thunderstorm warning on this. Just because of the damaging winds, possibly. 60 miles per hour. So, I'll keep this stream up. I'll probably just go AFK, but we'll see if anything comes of it, or, like, you know, happens. So, keep the tornado watch list up in case that changes. But I will be back, y'all. If anything changes, I'll start to actually cover it instead of just babbling on for no reason. So. All right. Kind of looking at this storm. I'm back right now. I'm looking at this. All of this is just kind of inflow into the storm and all those winds going towards it. We have a little bit more of a signature of this thing tightening up a good amount, actually. This is starting to break away from the main line of cells, and it's starting to eat up everything. with wind shear and everything, we could actually see a tornado possibly come out of this right here. Just been chilling here. Looking at this. Looking at this storm, this could actually be probably this could possibly be a tornado producer. Possibly, I say that sparingly. I say that very sparingly. Let's see, radar feed. Looking at this right here. What is going on with this scan? See, radar scope doesn't really do that. That's why I prefer it. This is where the shear vectors might come into play. We'll probably see Yep, I knew that was gonna happen. Alright, we got some more tornado warnings here. This thing could definitely be some trouble. We're seeing some rotation start to pop up here. Chat, there's no one in the chat. Yeah, no one's probably watching this, but I'll just do it because I enjoy it. Let's see here. So I had this tornado warning pop up. Let's see if we can get the exact counties near Benton, Carroll, Gibson, Henry, and Weakley County. Here in Tennessee, it's only radar indicated rotation. This storm is starting to become its own supercell. How I was talking earlier, how I was mentioning, like, if these storms, kind of get, by themselves, because this is part of, kind of this whole line and edge of storms, but when these storms start to kind of become their own supercells, they start, oh my gosh, this thing has a crazy mesocycline. Okay, y'all, we probably need to be watching the storm near Trenton, Tennessee, Bradford, Tennessee, Greenfield, Tennessee, Gleason, and McKenzie, Tennessee. The storm is looking a lot stronger. It is cycling, but I say that sparingly because I do not know if it is going to actually produce anything. We're looking over here over, let's see, Radar Omega will probably have the better names. Yeah, Crockett Mills, Tennessee, Brazil, Frog Jump, Christian Chapel, Chapel, Edison. This whole area, y'all need to be. Oof. Okay, y'all. We might have a tornado on our hands. We might have a tornado on our hands. That does not look good at all. That does not look good. Correlation coefficient. Why is it not live? Alright. We're not seeing any debris signatures right here. But this is insanely strong rotation. And look at this. Oh my gosh. There's like 2 areas of rotation. Right here. And then right here. That is crazy. Oh, we have another tornado warning. Okay. Reconnection. Okay. These storms are absolutely just exploding right now. We could definitely have a tornado on our hands near Bradford, Tennessee, near Trenton and Dyer, and then let's see. Let's go over to Radar Omega near Crockett Mills, Brazil. Frog Jump, Christian Chapel, Edison, Fruitland, all these different towns here in Tennessee. We got to be watching out these rotation signatures, especially this. This is going to be are you kidding me? See, that's what I don't like about Radar Omega. It just like cuts off the scan. Are you kidding me? It just okay. Oh my gosh, we are definitely getting something on our hands here. Near Trenton, Tennessee. This is looking quite... These storms are breaking away from the main squall line and just becoming their own supercells. Now, the only storm that I'm crazy worried about, and that I think has a distinct rotation signature, is this one near Bradford, Tennessee. Y'all gotta actually start getting for cover. This thing is right over y'all. Oh my word. This thing is becoming like its own supercell. That's crazy. Okay. We'll probably start to see these storms start to explode up here. Oh, okay, we're getting laggy. Oh my gosh, yeah, Bradford, Tennessee. There's probably a funnel cloud or a tornado on the ground here. That's a super well-defined rotation signature. I would definitely say there's possibly a tornado on the ground there. Alright, so Greenfield, Tennessee, you'll got to be watching out. Yeah, Greenfield, Skullbone, y'all are like, oh, okay. There is definitely a tornado probably on the ground here. Oh my gosh. There's not much rotation signature down on this storm. But there is right here. Oh my word. And up here too. Up on the Kentucky-Tennessee border. It's right there. These storms down here I'm not really going to be covering or looking at, just because there's not much. Okay, yeah, look at this. There is definitely a funnel coming down on this. That is super. Okay, this supercell is actually kind of growing. It is definitely hitting some instability and wind shear in this. like they're just putting a special weather statement out for that. So I don't even know if anybody's watching this. If not, I'll probably just turn it off. You know what? I'm gonna keep streaming. Alright, there's probably a tornado over near Bradford, or there's definitely a funnel that is dropping to the ground. That could possibly. I'm gonna keep streaming. Alright, there's probably a tornado. Oh my gosh, this is so strong, dude. There is literally a rotation signature on reflectivity. That is crazy strong. Okay. Yeah, we're definitely seeing something here. It's radar indicated, but there's probably going to be a tornado that comes to the ground on this thing. Is there a camera that we can see? No. No camera. Oh, I could possibly see something on this, though. Oh, yeah, I forgot. That's the one that has nothing. Greenfield, Tennessee, Beech Grove, Skullbone, Stafford Shore, Crowley Store, Pillowville, Mount Herman, Liberty, Sandhill, Gleason. I would absolutely say there's about to be a tornado that is about to touch down. And over near here, we're having a definite mesocyclone showing on radar. But, oh my word. This is looking pretty serious, I'm not seeing any debris being lofted. Because you would definitely know where it would be. You can see a straight debris ball there. Look at that hail core in that. I really am not sure how this is gonna play out. I really think. Oh man. Yeah, it's just showing so much rotation here. Oh my gosh. Okay, there's a visible on reflectivity. There is a visible mesocyclone. Okay, this thing is gonna, in my 2-cent opinion, this storm down here, it could produce, but this storm over here might merge with this one, or it's going to just suck a lot of inflow into this storm and it might get stronger. But this is the storm that we're going to have to look at. Greenfield, Tennessee, be careful. And all the towns near there. Yeah, this thing is just developing a very, very strong mesocyclone on radar. In this rotation, I don't know if it's going to sustain itself, though. It might very well just bleed out basically in a way where it's just not sustaining, having the energy sustaining. It's not going to be able to have the energy sustaining, moisture that it needs. There's definitely a tornado signature on this. It's radar indicated here at the moment. It's loading. Yeah, look at that. I think it's just crazy. It's pretty well defined. Oh, looks like it's starting a weekend. Good. That's good. There's not a ton of vorticity on there. Let's see where reed timber is. Yeah, man, we're just seeing very, very, very strong velocity signatures. It's still radar indicated. But this is the whole entire mesocyclone that is just popping up. Where is my velocity at? There we go. So it's still pretty strong. Oh my gosh. Okay, there's most definitely going to be a tornado on this. There is most definitely going to be a tornado on this. Oh my gosh. This supercell is just exploding. Oh my gosh. Okay, there's most definitely going to be a tornado on this. There is most definitely going to be a tornado on this. Oh my gosh. This supercell is just exploding. Yeah, look at this. We're not seeing any debris signatures yet, but this is a super clearly well-defined. A very well-defined seal. I'm watching Ryan Hall right now. Yeah. I don't care about you, ad.
Pretty populated area, by the way. Out here between Bradford, Christmasville, McKenzie. Not, you know, like a huge city or anything, but just tons of residential developments in this general vicinity here. Let's go check in on the tornado warning on the border between Louisiana and Mississippi. This one continues to look really concerning. We've got our rotation going to Brunswick.
Yeah, there's definitely about to be a tornado on the ground here. This is kind of asinine. How strong this is. Super Solo is really starting to grow and just gain. Oh, okay. Yeah. There is going to be a tornado on the ground here.
Right now, though, I'm most concerned about this area of rotation and this one. So McKenzie, the town of McKenzie, really needs to be, everybody in that town needs to be getting into shelter. If you're from McKenzie, if we've got a tornado down here, we need to be thinking that that's at least a possible.
Yeah, oh my gosh. We're not seeing a debris signature yet, but we might in these couple scans. This storm is absolutely going mayhem.
Where the Northwest Tennessee Head Start is in the county line where the Air Services are. If you're familiar with those areas, it's especially a dangerous area to be. But even if you're 5-10 minutes away, you need to be taking shelter.
Just watching Ryan Hall. Oh man, this is nasty.
We just got a severe thunderstorm warning for the same storm, essentially. This includes McKenzie, this includes Paris, Big Sandy, nothing but 1.25-inch diameter hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds is going over the next 51 minutes in Bend, Carroll, Gibson, and County, Tennessee.
Okay, we're probably gonna see a tornado here on the ground soon. We have to. Like, this is. Oh my gosh, this thing is just really scary looking. This one down here, I'm not even really seeing where the rotation is. Oh, okay, I think they discontinued that one that was south. It was still on my screen on the other one. Yeah. It's crazy how the Storm Prediction Center was talking about. I love how we are the ones getting all the severe weather. Tennessee is. It's awesome. Super fun. Super awesome.
week earlier should typify back to what they were before Outbreak. So yeah, this is a significant flooding event happening in my neck of the woods here. This is crazy though. Yeah, that's
Yeah, Mackenzie, they're finna see a tornado. I'm telling you.
they're going to be over. So, and that, by the way, that was only from storm chaser Brad Arnold.
Look at that. Okay, these are full blown like supercells now that are just at the front of this. This is a full blown.
South
This is a
Carolina,
full blown hook echo right there.
Mississippi.
Like,
It's a wild weather nightmare.
look at that. That is kind of insane.
Good news, the three people that were trapped in that destroyed house near Bradford, Tennessee, were rescued. We just heard that over the scanner a moment ago.
Thank you so much, Elijah, for the good news. That is great, and keep us updated if you hear anything else between Bradford, Christmasville, and McKenzie as the radar returns are still a little wonky. It's hard to tell exactly what's going on, but the town of McKenzie, hopefully everybody is in their safe spots there as there is a
This
tornado.
is a full blown tornado warning right here. This is. Look at this. This is going to be a full blown tornado on the ground. Oh my word. We're not crazy in
The
here.
last time that it flooded like that Johns Creek was 2009, 2010, and it's not far away from exceeding that, maybe a new record there for Johns Creek tonight.
Yeah, we're almost in a radar hole. Gosh. We're still not seeing anything, but there's definitely a funnel.
Specific towns, not able to do that. We're focused on all of the warnings and stuff as they come in. If I'm not talking about your town right now, that's probably a good thing, as it means where you're not directly being impacted by the strongest storms right now. However, stay tuned because I might be talking about your town soon. We're taking it one town at a time here as the storms move east.
Man. This is getting increasingly worrying. I don't really think these storms are probably gonna hold up to. I don't think these storms will hold up probably to get all the way more east. It's just kind of like these storms are really strengthening right here. Like, oh my gosh. It's like super strong. Those winds must be insane. My Instagram page. All the Minecraft stuff. Let's see. I love how all those risks are like down there. All of it is happening up north. Mm. It's very strong. These storms are extremely strong. Oh, what? Yo. There's like 2 areas of rotation there.
And we're starting to see a lot more flash flooding reports coming in from this part of the storm back here, which is where the heaviest rain's falling right now between Paducah, Owensboro, Benton in Kentucky. 4 inches of rain.
Oh my gosh, how is there not a reported tornado?
In Graves County, Kentucky. We've had 203 flash flood reports today. Thomas, thanks for becoming a member, and Summer, thank you. We currently have 7 severe thunderstorm warnings and 5 tornado warnings. Here's the latest on our SPC outlook for those who are interested in what we're going to be talking about for the rest of the night. Pretty much everyone highlighted in the orange. You're going to be the star of the show for the next several hours. We've been streaming now for 5 hours here. We just crossed over the 5-hour mark, and we're going to continue for however long we need to go.
I just praise God that right now, at least, there's not a horrible
Thank y'all.
debris signature on
One of the
this.
biggest problems we're going to have out of tonight's storms are the straight line damaging winds. All right, we got a 45% probability of seeing that damaging winds in Mississippi and Alabama tonight. 30% all the way up towards western Tennessee. And then, of course, our tornado threat with a hatched risk down here in Mississippi and Alabama tonight, which means that some of these tornadoes could produce EF2 or greater damage.
And then we're having like the most tornadoes go up here in Tennessee. There has to be a tornado on the ground. Like,
yeah, so got a lot of people that watch this channel in Clarksville, Tennessee. I want to give you guys a shout out and just give you a heads up. The storms that have been producing all of the tornado warnings are coming in right for you. There will likely be a tornado warning at some point tonight for Clarksville. It could be an hour or 2 from now before that happens, but we are watching you, and we'll be here for you whenever that storm gets there. It's just not quite there yet.
Oh, I think I see debris.
Velocity on the storm approaching Rolling Fork continues to look less impressive. So hopefully that trend continues. But the tornado warning continues for 24 minutes. So get to your safe spots in Rolling Fork if you haven't already. And yeah, the thing I'm most concerned about right now is our storm in Benton, Carroll, Gibson, and Henry counties in Tennessee. Very strong storm coming into Mansfield, Paris, and Springville next. There's us a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is for Phillips County, Arkansas.
Oh my gosh, there is most definitely a funnel cloud or a tornado that is starting to touch down right here.
60-mile-per-hour winds and 1-inch in diameter hail possible over the next 23 minutes or so. Also, new severe thunderstorm warning for Bolivar, Sunflower, and Washington counties in
It's
Mississippi.
kind of the overview of what's
1-inch
going on.
diameter hail. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Uh-oh. Oh. So one thing that might happen, I think we're about to experience a power outage here. That was scary. I don't know if you guys heard that, but this place makes some loud noises whenever we lose power. But anyways, one thing that might happen is we might lose our cameras. We've got about 30 minutes of battery backup on our camera computer, but I don't. Actually, you know what? Never mind. We won't lose them. I forgot. We added something to where we won't lose them. So we should be good. But like, did you guys?
A new tornado
Did you guys
warning
hear that
has been
band
issued.
just then? Did you guys hear that? Was that bad? Because that you will hear that if we lose power.
Okay, there is most definitely a tornado. That is.
We just got a new tornado warning. Radar indicated rotation. This is for our storm that's impacting McKenzie right now.
Look at this storm. This is crazy. You
So this is
literally.
going to continue now for the next 51 minutes for Benton, Carroll, Henry, Weakley counties in Tennessee. The rotation is, there's actually a couple areas of rotation in this storm. One of them obviously is this big mess over here coming into Paris. This is going to be a strong burst of wind that comes into Big Sandy. But even right here near McKenzie and back down towards Christmasville, there's a couple areas that we're concerned about. So just everybody in the polygon needs to take shelter.
People in Root and in Palestine, Tennessee need to take shelter.
Near you or not.
That's crazy.
So y'all didn't hear anything? Okay, good. It's very loud in here. The battery backups are loud, and then the
Look
generator
at
didn't
that.
kick
That
off
is
for
insane.
Flicker, but if it does, that's kind of loud too. But I think we're good. Yeah. No. Yeah, it does seem like I'm talking about Clarksville quite a bit on this channel. You guys are not crazy. Clarksville is a place that I talk about a lot. Rolling Fork comes up a lot. I don't want to sit here and list them all off, but there's some places that definitely are focused more than others.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
Another new tornado warning was just issued. This one's going to be for Phillips County, Arkansas, Kahoma County, Mississippi, Panola and Quitman counties in Mississippi as well. We've got some rotation down here between Elaine and Clarksdale, moving up towards Tunica. Take shelter in Tunica, Mississippi. Go ahead, Elijah.
Well, Ryan, so we have a lot more damage reports from the scanners. It sounds like there are a lot of trees downed across Gibson County, Tennessee. So it's maybe not like all of these are not from a tornado. There would be a lot of straight line damage there will be a lot of straight line wind damage reports as well from this. But there is also a house that is damaged near the town of Gibson. There was a person that was trapped and they were rescued. They are also having trouble getting to all the houses due to some flooded highways. So I will keep you updated as I get new reports.
All right, thank you, Elijah. So yeah, things are getting quite intense out there. Got straight line damaging wind reports coming in, new tornado warnings coming out.
New information. This tornado warning has been upgraded.
We just got a tornado warning upgraded. That's going to be for the hail size. So the reason that tornado warning was upgraded there for Henry and Weakley counties in Tennessee is because we now expect that it's going to also have 1.5-inch in diameter hail associated with it. This is still radar indicated rotation. New severe geez, y'all, like this is crazy. New severe thunderstorm warning now. We've got 10 severe thunderstorm warnings and 7 tornado warnings currently. This new severe thunderstorm warning is going to be for Christian and Trigg counties in Kentucky. Expect 60-mile-per-hour winds, 1-inch in diameter hail over the next 47 minutes or so. This is going to impact Cadiz, Lafayette, Oak Grove, and Hopkinsville. Another new severe thunderstorm warning was just issued for Caldwell Parish, Grant Parish, and Jackson parishes in Louisiana. Same thing, 60-mile-per-hour winds and maybe less than 1-inch hail coming into Columbia, Clarkson, Ola. Checking in on the Rolling Fork storm. Rotation is south of Rolling Fork. It's moving up towards the Delta National Forest.
Look at that hail core. That is crazy. Look at that hail core. That is crazy. Oh, wow. That's crazy. Oh, wow. That's crazy. Ooh, that's interesting. That is interesting right there. It's not crazy strong rotation. It's pretty weak. That is interesting right there. It's not crazy strong rotation. It's pretty weak. Mm. think that's the hail core. Ooh, okay. Let's see what Ryan Hall is saying.
Okay.
Before gentle impulse, there is no way I could have done that.
Up there. So just stay with me and I'll let you know. I'll be here when the storms get to Clarksville, when they get to Bowling Green, Nashville, Murfreesboro. I'll be here through it all. And here's West Virginia Weather Watcher once again with the incredibly impressive weather watching setup. Thanks for the update. It's still just as cool as it was the other day. Almost more screens than me.
That's funny. Oh my gosh. Okay, I think that's a debris ball. Oh, I just updated. Oh, we're having some rotation. Maybe right there, I don't know.
Have there been any confirmed tornadoes or debris on radar? No, we've had one report that seems like a tornado damage report. Radar's been really inconsistent today. We've had a lot of storms in radar holes, but what we are starting to notice now is rotation is increasing on several of these storms. Andy, go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, Ryan, to talk about a couple of those. The one that was previously tornado warned near Cary, Mississippi, is exiting the warning. We don't have an extension of that yet. However, I think it looks the best it has in the last 10-15 minutes here, as it's near Holly Bluff. So areas near Louise, Mississippi.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
Into the north of that city. Should be ready for maybe an extension of the warning. This comes with the fact that as it progresses north of Jackson, gets up towards I-55 on the current track it's taking, it will encounter better conditions, especially thermodynamically, over time. So I would not be surprised if the supercell continues on to get warned again, and it actually steadily increases in its potency. So I am in line with that warning. That's why I started calling it out there. So right on the same wavelength as the National Weather Service. I do think that conditions improve ahead of it. So I hope that it doesn't do that, but I could see it doing that for sure. The other decent storm, especially on infrared radar, is in I guess somewhat northeastern Louisiana near Winnsboro. Does not have a warning on it yet, but there is some rotation once again in a radar hole very far away here. So right near to the south of Winnsboro, Louisiana, it'll pass southeast of you guys near Chase and Gilbert. And head into Franklin Parish and then Madison Parish. That one also is going to enter. That one's going to stay in slightly worse conditions over time. That right around Jackson, Mississippi does not have the best profile in terms of temperature as you go up above your head there. There's a little bit of a warm nose that's acting like a cap a few kilometers above the surface, so a mile and a half or so. So hopefully that one doesn't do much, just because we know the conditions in place aren't as favorable. However, the one that is now has a continued tornado warning, I could see that one becoming more of a concern as it enters those better conditions near I-55.
All right, thank you, meteorologist Andy Hill, for bringing us down here to Mississippi and Louisiana, just in time for that new tornado warning, which just came out for Humphreys, Sharkey, and Yazoo counties in Mississippi for the next 48 minutes. We need you to take shelter in places like Luis, Carter, Eden, and Silver City. Yes. Just came out for Humphreys, Sharkey, and Yazoo counties in Mississippi for the next 48 minutes. We need you to take shelter.
Whoa, partner! I'm gonna have to stop you right
storm right now is near Holly Bluff. It's moving up towards George, Loch Lomond, Potosi, Anchorage, and eventually towards Silver City. We still have a tornado warning for Benton, Carroll, Henry, and Weakley counties in Tennessee. Rotation on this one still quite concerning, but there's still no reports coming in. But I would say that we'll see a new tornado warning here for Dover, Big Rock, and Indian Mound before too long. So this is getting close to Clarksville. Here, this rotating storm is going to come up in this direction towards Clarksville. Our next warning with this sequence here is probably going to include Dover and the county just to the west of Clarksville. Currently has 6 tornado warnings, 9 severe thunderstorm warnings. One of our more recent severe thunderstorm warnings is going to be for Dover, by the way. This is Stewart County, Tennessee. Get ready for 1-inch in diameter hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. Also, I've still got a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Bolivar and Sunflower counties in Mississippi. That's going to expire, though, in about 1 minute. Jackson, in Carroll, Gibson, and Hardeman counties and Haywood County in Tennessee for the next 31 minutes. Take shelter now. Jay, yeah, man, for sure. Oh, they just canceled the tornado warning for Jackson, so there is no longer a tornado warning for Jackson in Tennessee. Counties in Mississippi. Lee says, is this the caboose, Ryan? Please tell me no more storms. Us truck drivers are tired of this winter. Unfortunately, no. I think we've got another widespread, impactful winter storm coming up right after this one. It's going to be the main topic of tomorrow's video, more than likely. Some of the places that are getting tornado warnings today will be getting maybe decent snow next week.
Alright, I'll probably end the stream just because no one is watching. And let's see. No one's watching whatsoever. And I'll probably go take a shower before the storms get here. So, but before I go and end it, we're just having one tornado warning down here. There's a possible tornado there. But for the rest of Tennessee, just be watching out for these storms because they're kind of looking intense. And we could genuinely have some embedded tornadoes that do pop up across this line, so we do got to be careful of that. All right, y'all take care. No one